Okay. Yeah. Thanks so much for taking the time today. Really thanks. Yeah. So kind of just to introduce my club again and what I'm trying to do. Our club is called Trio Community, and we're really trying to create a place where people can connect with each other, especially over passions and interests. And really, one of our main goals is to help people find what they are interested in and potentially different careers. So that's one of the things we're doing right now, just asking about different careers. So let's just get into the questions.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So first is what what does a typical day in your job look like?
Um, I worked at a medium-sized biotech company, and basically the company has several departments,
Mm,
including like biology and chemistry and compound property group and clinical group, which is I'm in clinical develop and
uh,
finance, facility and information technology, and so mainly my 95% of my time I was will be working in front of the desk. So use computer. Yeah. So
so
this
I
is
guess a lot
my
of
routine job. Basically, you just working on your station. Yeah. So
mm, so I guess a lot of contacting people and
not really.
oh, okay.
Only when we have a meeting. So we have a quite often like we have a lot of meeting and basically group talking. Like when we have a project, we always have a team meeting, and then we have the um, vendors meeting. So lots of a meeting. Other than that, mainly just work on your own pace. Yeah.
Okay. Um, and could I ask like what your work at the desk is? Like a lot of
Yeah,
analysis?
I talk about myself the role. I'm clinical trial associate,
Mm,
which means we conduct clinical trial. It's a drug discovery process. So we're talking about later when you ask more specific question. So right now it's general. It's I'm mainly we are sponsor. Basically we have a drug, then we put on the study,
yeah.
we recruit patient. So my role is collect all the patient data, like
Okay.
patients,
I see.
bladder, and then all the heart rate, all those things, and then eventually go all together. Then we analysis all the efficacy and the safety, get the
Okay.
profile, patient profile. Yeah, so
I
it's
see.
kind of analysis and then the development. Yeah.
Hmm. So I guess maybe we can first talk about like what are what are some important traits and like or qualities like attributes for people working in your kind of job?
Yeah, my area is it's typical area. It's very unique area, and for undergraduate, just graduate from school, it's very hard to get in this industry. So you
Okay.
have to have basically you have to have experience. For
Mm,
example, my group of people, they come from different background, like a nursing background, or they are medical doctor, or they are research scientist. Kind
mm,
of, it's pretty much they required lots of experience. Yeah. So
mm,
it's not suitable for the like a freshman, like just graduate. It's very hard to get in my field, like a clinical research. But it we do have lots of co-op students from school, from university. So they got get in like one step in the company, right? So they get to know the biotech company, what's the some people they really like, and then we do hiring those people from those top five co-op students. So the
oh,
past 5 years hiring mainly is those students from like previous co-op students, and then we know they are good, and then they get a chance to get in the
okay.
biotech company. Yeah. Mhm.
That's really interesting. So maybe we can get into that, like what's kind of like your story getting into your current position?
Yeah, my story, I don't have a biotech background. Actually, my background is accounting, so it's kind of through the network. It's through friends, and they introduce you get in. Then after the mainly things people the company they usually send you for training. If
Mm,
you don't have lots of background experience, they will send you training once like twice a year. They will send you to certain like institution, and then you get to 5 days just studying, and then you get certificate, and then you work in this industry. Yeah,
okay.
so yeah, you have a special certificate or special training for being suitable for the clinical trial. Yeah,
Mm,
doing the clinical trial. Yeah.
okay. And maybe getting back to that first question about uh, different qualities needed. I guess like you coming from accounting background, there's like a lot of analysis skills and like
Uh-huh.
data.
It's accumulate from the work experience. Like
Mm,
the company, they don't really mind if you don't know anything, right? As long as you are willing to learn,
yeah,
you always have a chance. The most important things that we are looking for is right now you have to have a good personality. It's way more important compared to the knowledge. Yeah. So you have
yeah,
to be team player. You have to be kind. Thoughtful, not like to yeah, like it's harder to you have to get along with people very well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
you
okay.
don't have to be top in your area, but you have to be um adaptable, like
Yeah.
get so it's more important. Yeah.
Okay. And all right. Um, okay, that's great. So I just have one more actually two more general questions. Are you working remotely?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now we're working remotely, but before we know it's only
Mm,
because due to the COVID-19.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
How has that changed your work?
and because our job is it's basically it's like a computer basis, right? So you
Okay.
can work remotely. It's no effect at all. Even better because we conduct the clinical trials globally. So we have a East European and then Italy, Spain, France, UK, all over the world, right? So if you
Mm,
work remotely and then you have sometimes you have to wake up very early, 6 o'clock, you have to take the call, and then nighttime like at 1 o'clock you have a random report because they
oh,
are daytime. So I think it's a very it's flexible schedule. Yeah, for
mm,
us.
okay.
Yeah.
Mm. And maybe for those of us who are interested
Uh-huh.
in your field or like your area,
Mhm.
what can we start doing now? Like maybe certain courses or like
Um,
activity.
yeah, so for my area, there's not many student courses for you guys to take. But if you want to go to biotech company, you can do like a biology, chemistry, yes, and all those like
Mm,
you can take those courses. Yeah, to
mm,
get experience. I think if you really want to go to biotech company, and then corporate experience is very important for you. Yeah,
mm,
if you
yeah.
take like at least 4 months short term, but normally we hiring corp student for 8 months term. So when you reach grade third year, and then you start to apply for the co-op students, like in co-op student, and then you get lots of experience. You know what exactly the job looks like. You like or not, you will decide. If you think this is boring, and you probably work study hard, you get graduate school or PhD, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, what are like some different um, jobs in your like biotech? More maybe more like specifically in drug development. I know you
Mhm.
said like there's chemical and biological department.
Uh-huh.
Could you talk about like what more specifically they do? Maybe like the normal image um, of a scientist, like that would maybe
Be-
that.
um, because I'm not familiar with them, but
Okay.
what my understanding is they always in the lab, like and below master degree people, like, you know, the people who only had a bachelor degree, mainly in the lab doing experiment. Then the master degree, they are working half-half. Sometimes they go to the lab, and then sometimes they don't. But the PhD level, we call scientist. Okay, so then they don't have to go to the lab to do experiment. No, they design the lab, they design the study. So they design the study, and they ask those people to run this experiment. Then the people run the experiment will get the results, those data, and then come to them, and then scientists look the you know, the results and make the conclusion. This is like a circle. So which means that biology or chemistry, if you only have undergraduate, graduate, right? So basically you only do the basic experiment. So
Okay, I see.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I guess other like for biotech, the only special ones are like the data and like this science stuff, and then there's also like the normal company things like financial. Those.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. But biotech has a big, another thing is different than the normal. Biotech is a high risk company
Yeah.
because, for example, you develop a drug, right? If the drug is not working, then it's a high risk. Mainly, like sometimes we have a big layoff. But if the drugs work very well, and then they hiring a whole bunch of people, so it's not stable job in this area. It's a high risk. But the big pharmaceutical company, it's better. Like biotech is small company, right? Then when you have a drug on your company, like a Johnson Johnson, or those Novartis, like, you know, we have all those Advil things come from the Pfizer, all those big company, right? And they are way big, huge, yeah. And then but they do get a layoff too, but it's a little bit you know, better, yeah, compared to the small biotech. But small biotech, you have more potential growth.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
learn more because a big company, everybody only do one single things, okay? But a small company, one person do lots of things.
yeah.
So it's
It's
good experience. Yeah, you get excited about that. It's
yeah,
not
it's
boring.
very
Yeah, but
yeah,
it's very, very stressful, intense, very, very stressful. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, do you guys use like very innovative technology?
We do have all those software, right? So like, you know, Adobe, Acrobat, and then all those like Microsoft scanning and Prism is the technology, like it's for scientists. They make it a graph when they have the experiment data, and then they put the data in it, and then to get the graph, and then to get analysis present. And we use clinical use called electronic filing system, which is called mass control. It's a unique system. Yeah, it's and then all those CRF, we use eCRF. It's just like a platform. The patient get on the platform, they enter all the information in it, because it's a double blind, so we won't see it. Like, you know, they won't. It's a third party. Yeah, the drug is also it's blinded. Like, you know, you won't see. It's a
Right.
placebo of drug. Yeah. So later we'll talk about more about the study. Yeah, the drug developer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so um, also another one is how difficult is it to find participants for like the trials, and how many participants do you usually need for one?
For study, right? It depends the drug. Okay, I used to work at a biotech company. We develop heart disease drug. So compared to other study, it's a little bit easy because the population is a little bit huge, right? So it's a lot of people has a heart problem. So it's easy to recruit. But now I work on the epilepsy. That's a rare disease. So it's not many. It's a overall the population probably only 3,000. So it's very hard for recruit the patient. It
Oh,
depends. It really depends the the disease and then the population. And
Mm.
then yeah, it's up to the protocol. So you will see, yeah, what kind of like some it's easier, like diabetes, it's easier because so many people has it, right? And then rare disease, epilepsy is harder. It's very hard. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so what's kind of like the process for like these participants, they are taking a lot of risk. Do you know about like the compensation and like um what you're required
um
to
Study the you talking about the actual the clinical study, right? So
mm,
so first of all, they need to assign the consent form, informed consent. They consent, they want to do the study, right? They
okay.
have to sign the informed consent. Then we, before they sign, they have to read carefully. Everything is written in
Mm,
the article, right? In the informed consent. So if you agree, if you have any question, just talk to the principal investigator, just which means doctor,
okay.
mostly in the site, like a hospital. Then if you have question and they answer your question, you satisfy, and then you want to participate in the study, then you becoming a subject, like that you enrolled in the study. Yeah, and
Mm,
then you can withdraw the study anytime if you voluntarily to withdraw the study if you don't like it. It's that's your the right. Yeah.
mm.
So
So
after you get on the study, then you started taking the drug, the discovery drug. Like it's a investigative product. We call investigative product. It's not the actual approved yet, so we call investigative product.
okay.
So yeah, and then because this is kind of you do have a risk. Okay, so because this is not the approved drug, sometimes that you do have a side effect, like you have a headache or something. Yeah.
Mm,
So but some people, they want to try because it's if they are
yeah.
paying for, they still want to try, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. Um, yeah, so I guess you probably just work on the data. Is there any kind of like law involved in your work?
Oh no, no. But in this industry,
Mm,
everybody, if you want to understand, first you have to sign confidential disclosure for agreement. We call
mm,
CDA, and then all the site, like hospital, they participate the study. They have to have the clinical trial agreements, which would indicate every single things.
mm,
Okay, and then they indicate how much each patient will get. Patient won't get it. Like the institution, they recruit each patient will get reimbursed like a little bit. Yeah,
okay.
it's depend the site. Yeah.
Mm,
So, but every study, it's not just like, oh, I want to do this study. No, you have to get approved by the ethics committee, like the UBC. If there was each hospital has their local IRB approval. So you need to get approval before you do on the study for any human study. Like
mm,
any study on human, you have to get approved. Yeah.
okay, I see.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Um, yeah, so uh, what's, oh, okay, I guess we already touched on that. Maybe like what are different types of jobs? What are different types of drug discovery or development?
Yeah, drug discovery has a many typical category. So include a counter drug. The counter drug like Tylenol, Advil, all those one is a counter drug. You don't need a prescription. You can go to the counter to get it. This is
Oh,
the hardest one. So, and
mm,
then this is the most useful drug, right?
yeah.
Then also drug developer has drugs discovery. So I can give you a more big picture regarding how the drug coming, the whole procedure. Okay. So first you have to have idea. Like, you come, scientists come from, it gets idea. Then the idea go to the lab,
Mm,
okay, to test about like so many years, maybe 4, 3, 5 years. Then you
yeah.
get the test. You get the test is we call preclinical. So preclinical is the just the drug discovery is the first step. It's called preclinical. So
Mm,
preclinical, you get the data. Say if it's tolerant, it's a safety. But preclinical, we usually use animal. So we normally use monkey or rats, to do the study. Okay, the drug will test on the monkey or on the rats. Then you get the like toxicology reports for 6 months, 3 months, whole things. Okay, so after whole procedure is done, okay, the results said, oh, it's good, it's safety. Then we'll go to clinical. So clinical by itself, this development has 3 stages called phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So remember, phase 1 is healthy volunteer, which means the subject has no disease. Okay, so no disease, it's health people take it, and then usually it's small population, about 20 to 50, small one. Just test this drug, it works on health volunteer. Then after health volunteer works very well, efficacy is fine, then goes to phase 2 study, which was a small population as a patient, not more healthy. The patient has this kind of disease. Okay, for example, this heart disease drug. Then this one has this patient has a heart problem, like arrhythmia, all those things. Okay, then after that, phase 2 is very, very important. If the phase 2 failed, so how can we know this drug is good or not? We will look at the p-value. So the small p-value is better, right? You know the mass. So if the p-value is bigger, then the drug won't work. The efficacy will work, right? So this is so phase 2, we will find the p-value. If it's smaller, it's better. Like a 0.001 is even better, right? So if it's the p-value is 0.05, which means not good. Okay, yeah. So after the phase 2, and then goes to phase 3. Phase 3 study. Phase 2 usually it depends the population. Usually it could be 50 to 100, 200. Phase 2 sometimes we do phase 2A and B. Okay, then after that you go to phase 3. So phase 3 study is a main study. It's a big study. Some studies last like 1,000, 5,000 recruitment, right? So it's a huge. But this is a small biotech can do phase 3 because it's very, very expensive. Yeah. So this is mainly like that. And small biotech company usually after phase 2 they always partnering with big company. Then big company support the small, partnering and then doing phase 3 study. Yeah, because it's yeah. So overall, from preclinical to phase 3, and then phase 4 is post marketing. Like after phase 3, if it's good, and you can submit it for approval. But it takes from preclinical to the drug complete. It takes about up to 15 years. It's a long time. Yeah, it's very long. So only by self clinical study, it takes about 9 years. So preclinical, it's about 4 or 5 years, and then the 9 years for the clinical study. Yeah, it's quite long. Yeah, and then as a cost, you can try to remember it's 2.6 billion.
Oh wow.
2.6 billion. That's the average. One drug. Okay, then the approval rate is only 1%. Wow. So which means 100 drugs only gets 1% approved. Wow. So that's why the drugs are very expensive, right? Yeah, it's very, very hard to be approved. I've been in this industry almost how many years? 20 years from the beginning. So I used to work for heart disease drug, and our drug get approved in EU, in Europe, but didn't get approved in USA. So and then I worked. It's almost 20 years, right? So I think it's 5 years ago was approved by EU. European, so they right now they can have, and Canada approved it just recently 2 years ago, I think, but US still hasn't approved yet. So it's very, very hard. Yeah, just like your baby. It's you watch, you look at this one, but if it gets approved, you're so excited, right? If it's not getting approved, and it's very, very disappointed. Yeah. But this is just like that. Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. So it's very yeah, do these are this is some very important work, and um, yeah, really challenging and exciting.
Yeah.
Um, maybe the last question is like, what do you love about your work, and what do you not like?
Um, I like my work. It's excited, and
Mm.
then it's always have new things. It's
Yeah,
not get like a repeat. You always get excited things like, oh, today, oh, I have one patient. Like every day you get patient, right? So it's
yeah,
very excited about that. And
mm,
then the not likable part is like when the drug's not approved and you're very disappointed. And sometimes it's too stress. It's very stressful. It's and the whole team, everybody works so hard. We have like a no weekend, works all the time. It's not like a 9 to 5, no, it's not this kind of job. Yeah, so clinical team is not like that job, like a 9 to 5. No, you have to be working like available all the time. Yeah, it depends because the hospital opens 24 hours, right?
mm,
So your patients in the hospital, sometimes you need follow up with them, the sites. Yeah, so it's
yeah,
kind of, yeah, it's
yeah, totally. Yeah, yeah, it sounds like really amazing, important work. Yeah, so
yeah.
thank.
The clinical part, clinical development, this kind of job is probably not suitable for the new grads. Like, probably it's not very helpful, but it does interested if you do like select as biology or chemistry long ago, you probably will go further, right? You can be a computer scientist, right? So it's probably it's better. But I think right now, for as a high school student, you need to decide your career, like a future career. You
Yeah,
must be very confusing. What I do, right? So you don't need to worry about those. When you get in the university, you have lots of chance to explore. You can, you first you only need to select is you want to go to the school of arts or school of science or school of applied science,
mm,
like a big school, or school of or business school, like
mm,
if you like the business, right? Yeah, this
yeah,
is like a full basic. Or you want to become a doctor, then you go to the physiology or biology or biochemistry, those things. It's a basic foundation, right?
mm,
So yeah, I think the club, like the idea you have for the club, it's really really good. Like you
thanks.
at least very thoughtful, and then you try to help people. That's good. Yeah, and then like for high school student, you probably were looking for maybe. I was talking to my husband, so I said he's a professor at a statistics department, and then
Oh,
this is probably will be interesting to you. And then I talked to him, so if he can, give you some thoughts, and then he said, oh, you can send some email, ask some question, and he can reply to you.
oh yeah,
Yeah, because
sure.
yeah, stats it's because right now everything's data.
Yeah,
Stats
yeah,
is combination of data and then math. So
mm,
computer and math,
yeah,
computer and math combined. So
mm,
statistics is everything is a number, right? So I think this is very good future, and then their
yeah,
working environment is really good. It's not
yeah,
that stressful compared to us.
yeah,
And then yeah, and then yeah, so I don't know if you have someone like you've been interviewing, get some information
that'd
on
be
that.
great. Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think, yeah, I think like lots of try to different area, like
mm,
different area. So yeah, when we talking about this one, I think a clinical department is a little bit unique department. It's
mm,
it's harder to get in, and it's a little bit probably it's not not suitable for those like new grads, right? So yeah, they said what they're doing, like then you were confusing about that, right? Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Anything else you want know from me?
I think that's all. Yeah. Thanks so much for your help.
You're